Hi, my name is Lisa Denig, and I'm an attorney with the New York State Office of Court Administration. I'm also a proud alum of Westchester Community College and a past winner of the Beacon Conference. In fact, I was a part-time student at WCC, so I was able to win the Beacon Conference 3 times. I wanted to take a few minutes to share with you the impact that the Beacon Conference had on my education and my career. Student presenters, you may think that the Beacon Conference is just an interesting extracurricular activity that you can put on your resume or maybe a nice certificate to frame for your office wall someday. But I'm here to tell you that it is actually so much more than that. I remember preparing for the Beacon Conference, the hours and hours of painstaking research, formulating the arguments and putting them into an understandable and readable paper. I recall working with Dr. Amira Sakraida and the other finalists to perfect our oral arguments, making visual aids, practicing our deliveries, and preparing answers for the questions that would come from the judges. Then the big day would come and I would tamp down my nerves and present my paper, arduously trying to persuade the audience of my arguments. It was so exhilarating. After I graduated from WCC, I went on to Vassar College and majored in political science. One of the requirements for a political science degree is that I had to write a thesis. This undertaking consisted of researching a topic for an entire year, formulating an argument that had never been explored before, writing an unbearably lengthy paper, and then presenting my thesis to a panel of 3 professors who grilled me with questions on the subject. Sound familiar? After I graduated Vassar, I began working in local politics as the chief of staff for a county executive. As chief of staff, one of my primary jobs was to write all of the county executive speeches, including the annual State of the County address as well as the budget address. Both of these required me to research the current issues in the county, articulate the county executive's position, and present this information in a clear and coherent speech. I would then prep the county executive for questions that might arise after he had delivered the speech so he could defend our position. Again, really familiar territory. While I was working full-time as chief of staff, I was also attending Pace Law School at night. It was a tough schedule, working all day, going to school at night, but I loved law school, and I tried to take advantage of all that it had to offer. One of the activities that I participated in was the Pace Grand Moot Court competition. There, all the participants were given the same legal issue to research, then formulate an argument, write a persuasive brief, and then appear before a panel of judges who peppered us with difficult questions. This is getting a little old, isn't it? After law school, I joined the Westchester County District Attorney's Office, where I worked as an appellate attorney. My job consisted of responding to appeals that defendants make after they've been sentenced and are seeking to overturn their convictions. In essence, I had to read the defendant's submission, research the issue, the question that he presents, formulate an argument in opposition to their claims, and articulate that argument in a brief submitted to the court. Then I would appear in court and answer the questions from the judge. Today, I administer a very novel program for the Chief Judge of New York State that persuades attorneys and litigants in civil litigation to try to mediate before they proceed through traditional litigation. Mediation is a very new concept to many in the legal world, so I speak almost daily to lawyers and other groups to persuade them that the best way to resolve their disputes is through mediation. So when Mira asked me to speak to you about the impact that the Beacon Conference has had on my career, I realized for the first time that I actually lived the Beacon Conference over and over again in every job I've ever had. But you don't have to be an attorney to realize the value of an event like this. When I was chosen as a finalist, I presented my papers, I took home those winning certificates, and I was infused with an incredible sense of self-esteem. My participation in this conference reinforced to me that my work was intelligent and my voice was significant and worth being heard. This is an empowering feeling when you're struggling to find out where you fit in the world or what you're going to do or who you're going to be. And every one of you should take that away from this conference. Furthermore, it's invaluable to have the opportunity to speak in front of others. An often cited statistic is that more people are afraid of public speaking than they are of death. Think about that. People would rather die than stand up in front of a whole group of people and speak to them. Well, I hate to tell you that no matter what career you choose, there will inevitably be many times when you have to speak in front of people, even if it's just a small group of colleagues. The only way to become comfortable with this is to do it over and over again. So consider this the first step in becoming the remarkable public speaker that I'm sure you one day will be. Additionally, the Beacon Conference gave me the chance to work with interesting and amazing people. First and foremost, Dr. Mira Sakrita, who was my mentor and mentored many of the other students as well. She was such a driving force for this event, and I still admire and respect her today. So I encourage you to soak up this opportunity, learn from it, let it resonate in the work you do from this moment forward, whether you become an appellate attorney or a Wall Street banker. Relish your time here and remember it fondly. I know that I do.